Distinguished Senate President, I would like to say one or two words before I leave. The distinguished senator from Kogi talked about a petition against me.
Distinguished colleagues, distinguished colleagues, perhaps
with the nomination which you have seen, the one that represented Kaduna State National Rufai is a tragedy. That such a man is given an opportunity again to serve this country with all that he has done and all that he has said in office. And
Nesi El-Rufai, the former Kaduna State Governor Nesi El-Rufai, was among the ministerial list that was released. There are a lot of great misreactions on social media. A lot of people are saying he's not fit to become a minister after the bad work he did in Kaduna. A lot of other people who are his friends are also saying that he did a lot of great job while he was the governor of Kaduna State. Many people said his bigotry is a very religious ethnicities and stereotyping towards other regions, especially the Southeast. He hates the Igbos. So imagine making him a minister of security. It's going to become a disaster. Me personally, I don't really support the motions of making him a minister. For me, I don't have much to say because remember, the Senate will have the final say about these whole issues. But I want us to drag it to the Senate on how they reacted or questions the NSC El-Rufai. I want you guys to watch this particular video with me.
I wish to add a few, just a kind of summarized version of your resume. And then thereafter take questions from the distinguished senators. The floor is yours.
Your Excellency, Senate President, Senator Godswill Akpabio, distinguished senators of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, my name is Nasir Ahmad El-Rufai. I am standing before you as a result of being nominated to be a minister of the government of the Federation. I was born about 63 years ago in Daudawa, a village in Katsina State, and I attended primary school in Daudawa and Kao, Kaduna. Then went to Barewa College between 1972 and 1976. Completed the West African School Certificate and went to Ahmadu Bello University, where I graduated in 1980 with a degree in quantity surveying. 2 years later, I went back to school to get a master's in business administration from the same university, Ahmadu Bello University Zaria. And a year later, completed a postgraduate diploma in computer science. Subsequently, in years ahead, I got a law degree from the University of London and NLB from University of London, a master's in public administration from Harvard University Kennedy School of Government. I started my business as a consulting quantity surveyor in 1981 after completing my youth service in Ogun State, and I served in Abeokuta with a company called George Wimpy Nigeria Limited, then building the Oyan River Dam. I worked for a few months, the construction company building the ABU Teaching Hospital before establishing the quantity surveying consulting firm, El-Rufai and Partners. The firm still exists. It's one of the largest quantity surveying firms in the country. It's being run by my partners. I left the firm since 1998 when I was asked by General Abdul Salam Abubakar to be one of his policy advisors after the death of General Sani Abacha. During the handover to President-elect Obasanjo, the president-elect promised me that he would want to invite me to work with him when he takes over, and he did. I was appointed the Director General of the Bureau of Public Enterprises, where I was tasked to kickstart the federal government privatization program, which had been suspended since 1993. During that period, for the next 4 years from 1999, I was in charge of the program. And it was during this period that we privatized most of the banks, commercial banks, cement, sugar companies, vehicle assembly plants. And we also designed and steered the reforms in key sectors like telecommunications, which turned out to be quite successful. We also started reforms in the electricity supply industry and oil and gas. In fact, the first draft of what turned out to be the Petroleum Industry Act was drafted by the BPE when I was in charge. Some of the distinguished senators here were either in the House of Representatives or in the executive branch, like distinguished Senator Goje, who was Minister of State for Power. We all worked together to steer these reforms ahead. I was then appointed Minister of the Federal Capital Territory after confirmation by the Senate. So this is the second time I'm coming back to these distinguished chambers. The first time was 20 years ago, in 2003, when I was confirmed and appointed Minister of the Federal Capital Territory. I administered Abuja for 4 years, and thereafter I went back to school. That's when I acquired my law degree and my MPA from Kennedy School of Government. I came back to Nigeria after a short period of exile in May 2010 and joined the CPC under the leadership of General Muhammadu Buhari. Eventually, the CPC, of course, merged with other parties to form the APC. And I'm proud to say that I'm one of the founding members of the APC. I'm one of the 37 first set of officers that signed and filled the INEC form that got the All Progressive Congress registered. And I've remained a member since then. In 2015, I was elected the governor of Kaduna State and re-elected in 2019. Your Excellencies, this is a short summary of my life, my education experience, private sector and public service career. Thank you, Mr. President.
Senator Yari. Okay, after you, then the Senator for Kaduna, 3 of them.
Thank you, Mr. President. My name is Karimi Sunday. I represent Kogi West. My Excellency, Governor Nasir Rufai, your performance in any office you find yourself in this country has been outstanding. In PPE, your record is there. In FCT as a minister, your record is there. And as 2-time governor of Kaduna State, you did well. But I have a very strong petition against you that borders on security, unity, and cohesiveness of Nigerian nation. And I think that petition has to be considered along in this screening exercise.
Senator Musa.
Thank you, Mr. President, sitting as chair. My distinguished colleagues, my name is Mohammed Sani Musa, representing Niger East Senatorial District. Everybody here will attest to the credibility of the nominee when it comes to performance in every assignment he has undertaken for this country. And he is not different from any other one that have also performed in other places. There were two governors that have been here for screening, and there was a precedent, and that precedent, as a convention in chambers like this, must be sustained. And as such, I want to propose that Nasiru El-Rufai should take his bow and go. And then all other things can be determined when we come to the confirmation stage. Thank you, Mr. President.
Senator Danjuma Goji. Okay.
Thank you, Mr. President. As distinguished colleagues, my name is Ibrahim Khalid. I represent Kaduna North. I am from Kaduna State. Let me start by congratulating the nominee for his nomination as a Minister of the Federal Republic. I wish to further inform this Senate that the resolve of the 3 senators from Kaduna State, in consultation with the people of Kaduna State from across the political divide, have resolved and agreed that we should support the nomination of this very important nominee. Furthermore, the nominee is from Kaduna State, an bona fide indigenous of Kaduna State. Secondly, he appeared before these 100 chambers sometimes in 2003, and he was screened and cleared. And precisely, he is a person that is well known nationally and internationally. He has the capacity to continue with the good deed he's been doing while he was a minister. In this regard, I want to urge the Senate to consider this, and also, based on the established precedents that was established yesterday in respect of his colleagues, the 2 governors who came and appeared before us. Nobody asked them questions. Because of their pedigree, they were asked to take a bow and go. We therefore, I urge the Senate, even with the questions that was asked, that the Senate do ask the nominee to take a bow and go. We know him, we know he's capable. Thank you, Mr. President. The President said by this Senate yesterday regarding the 2 other governors who were asked to take a bow and go. I want to join my colleagues to insist and to request that he should take a bow and go. Thank you, sir. Yeah? Take a bow. I just submit.
Thank you very much. Order, please. I think we have gotten enough questions. We'll avail him the opportunity to respond. When he responds, then we can allow you to go bow and go. Yeah. And Karimi, you came forward with, I don't know whether you follow the normal something, but order, please. Order, please. Whatever is the case, this is an opportunity for nominees to explain, to showcase themselves. Then later we'll come to the confirmation approval. So, Mr. Dominic, you can please answer the question so that and then you bow and go.
Distinguished Senate President, I would like to say one or two words before I leave. The distinguished senator from Kogi talked about a petition against me.
Distinguished colleagues, perhaps I should inform you that I've received petitions from many other people in respect of other nominees. But this is not where we are to deal with petitions. Our job here is to screen. And then, of course, we can refer petitions to where petitions will be dealt with. These are the nominees of Mr. President. If it is something that is a formal petition before the Senate, we will look at it formally. But there are certain petitions we have to refer back to either the presidency or security agencies to look at. And that has nothing to do with us. So I think by the time we are going into the issue of confirmation and approval, we will be so advised. So I will want to plead with my brother to take a bow. So don't bother about. Thank you. Okay, thank you, sir. Thank you. If anybody has a petition against any nominee, please just drop it with me or drop it with the leader of the Senate. These are not our nominees. These are presidential nominees. And then, accompanying each nominee should actually be security report, which is not for the consumption of the public. And we cannot use a public forum like this to ask people to constitute ourselves into a court and start asking questions about petitions. But if the petitions are substantial, we'll refer it to the appropriate authorities and then we'll be so advised. Yes, we'll refer it to the nominating agencies and the necessary security agencies. They will handle it on their own and they will be so advised. Ours is just to screen, but we've noted the petitions.
We all know that definitely the APC in the Senate House were fully in support of Nesi Rufai, while the PDP people were throwing a lot of questions at him, while the others were saying just take a bow and go because they did similar thing to Nesi Wike. When Nesi Wike came, they gave him 10 minutes to speak. After he finished speaking, nobody asked him questions, just took a bow and go, because definitely a lot of people know that Nesi Wike, who is a desperate man, lobby his way in. What do you guys think about the former Kaduna State Governor Nesi Rufai becoming a minister in Nigeria? And what kind of position do you think that he would be well fit in as a minister? Though a lot of his supporters said that he did a great job while he was the governor of Kaduna State, but in the area of security, he did very, very poor. Anyway, I wouldn't want to emphasize more. I want you guys to watch this particular video. We'll be right back.
But with the nomination which you have seen, the one that represented Kaduna State Rufai, is a tragedy. That such a man is given an opportunity again to serve this country with all that he has done and all that he has said in office. And I don't think if President Tinubu mean well, it is not the best time to please and appease former governors. It's the best time to appease the Nigerians and to bring in competent hands that will deliver. As far as I'm concerned, that list, to some large extent, is a big disappointment. It is none that has been able to meet the expectation of taking the time which it has taken for those names to come out. So I think the best thing for the president to do at this time, he should know that the 8 years of this last administration was a complete waste, and that this is an opportunity for him to prove that he has the vision, the competence, and the capacity to lead this country to a higher level than the way he had met it. But with the kind of people whom he has now brought in close to him, I think there is going to be a problem. For what I know is that there are people who were brought in because they betrayed their party and betrayed their principle, and now this is the time to compensate them. And that should not be with a serious national position like this. And I thought the president, being a man that has a history of bringing the best to preside over affairs of governance, as he was able to do in Lagos State, many people were expecting that that should be the case in the country, but to a large extent it is not. Well, he has always spoken bad about me, and I also speak my own mind about him. But I have my own very proofs. Was he not a minister under Obasanjo administration? What happened between Obasanjo and Atiku? Was he not a minister at that very time? What happened? So it's going to be the same thing. If you see any discord between President Tinubu and Shetima, it's going to be the same person that will plan that discord. If you see any discord between the president and his members of the cabinet, is going to be the same person. If you see any discord between the president and the state governors, he's still going to be the same person. He has that history and that track record. And I'm saying this is not a prophecy, but it's a proven fact that has happened. So, and a leopard never changes its skin. So for that, I'm saying they have brought in a serpent in their government, and they are going to pay a price for it. He has no permanent loyalty. He is a man who, fair weather person who is going to be with you. The same person who has sung the praises of Obasanjo. When Obasanjo was out of power, he turned against him. The same person who for 8 years has been singing the praises of Buhari. The moment Buhari was out of power, he simply abandoned him. So it's going to happen with Tinubu. But I know that as far as President Tinubu is concerned, he has been an old horse in the struggle and been in trenches. Perhaps it's going to be his own time to have his own share of the venom of the same person I'm talking about. So I'm not talking about him because of what is happening between me and him over the years, but I have my proven facts, and they will come to see. He is not going to, whatever ministry you kept him, is not going to stay there. He's going to prognose into the activities of all others, and also try to get the ears of the president and sow the seed of discord. If you see any problem between Kashim Shettima and Tinubu, it's going to be the same person that will plant it. And mark this word, if you see any problem between Tinubu and any other person in the cabinet, it's going to be the same person. He has that history. So I am not saying it because of my own view, but the history has always been there for anybody to see. So to me, all I will say is to President Tinubu, whoever you appoint to office, let it not be like the Buhari administration where you are appointed into office and given a certificate of 8 years. If a person failed to live up to expectation, do not waste time in replacing him with somebody.
Now, you listen to what this man said. For me, I don't have much to say because remember, the Senate will have the final say about these whole issues. But I want us to drag it to the Senate on how they reacted or questions the Nesi Rufai. Nesi Rufai seems to be more prepared ahead this interview because they only ask him questions towards the direction of the office. If they put you as a minister of power sector, what are you going to do? Okay, go and write your own personal articles about it, get prepared, and come for the interview. Maybe that's what I figured out here because they already told him this is what he's going to do because he seems to speak eloquently. One thing is to speak, another is to do. Because most of our politicians, when you watch all their campaign, they speak very eloquently. But when it's time for them to act, it becomes something else. Do you think Nesi Rufai will be good in any ministerial office? That is what I want to know in the comment section. And what do you guys think about the Senate, how they were trying, nobody should question him, and they would just want them to walk into office like that? All right, we're going to be ending the video here today. If it's your first time coming across our video, please subscribe. If you do, turn on your notification bell so you'll be among the first person to be notified anytime Plan B TV team upload a new video. For all our old subscribers who time to time come back to watch our video, support our video, giving our videos a thumbs up, commenting in the comment section, I just can't express my love for you. But I pray that God continue to bless you, that you never run out of cash, bless you with long life and prosperity. All right, I love you guys. Remember, God love you more. Until we meet again, stay tuned. Peace out.
Don't forget to subscribe to get notified. And as you they share your support, now say God bless you too.
Sense on the bed.
Plan B TV, Plan B TV, Plan B TV. Oh, Plan B TV, Plan B TV, Plan B TV, Plan B TV.